Hello, Schrodinger's audience. You join us playing a game of the Scions, the second session of a 4-session series of taking the current edition out for a playtest. And it's that kind of exciting stage where most of it kind of works, but I'm very aware that, oh no, this bit needs to change, and I'm learning a lot. The story is a game about these awful, in our case, bred with space elf generals trying to conquer the universe for a cause which is clearly terrible. And where we picked off last time, there was just the campaign year started after the Emperor had been nearly assassinated. Him, and I'm the Chaos player, which is basically the Galaxy of the game. Can everyone introduce themselves and their character briefly? And we'll go around from there, starting with Stephen, then Alan, then Dominic.
Hello there. I am Stephen, he, they, and I am playing Salandris the Star Eater. I believe I said we and they, although you should more formally address me as your Radiance. I did a lot of terrible stuff last time. It was for some reason people were judging me for it. I don't know.
Yes, Salandris is very much the bad your Radiance of the game.
I mean, is there ever a character that requires to be addressed as your Radiance who is a hero? I would ask.
Well, I think honestly, you've committed to the bit, which I think is very important. I love you. Generally, your Radiance is a magnificent.
My name's Alan.
Tell us about Silent Kairos.
Silent Kairos, called Bookwise, is cunning, whereas Salandris is... How would I describe Salandris? Salandris is violent, and Crax is not that way.
I make the hard choices.
Whereas I take a different approach. I am connected to the galactic faith. I have my weapon of choice is a device I call a Flare of Souls. And last time I made good use of Bookwise.
Excellent. And Dominic? Yes.
I'm Dominic, here playing Saffron Aronai, she, her, and I am the leader of the Emperor's fleet. My vice is Rage, and I am beloved by the Navy, friend of the Imperial Army, and those parts of the Terran hierarchy that enjoy working infrastructure. And last time I've been told I was very stable and a nice character. Let's see if I can dig a bit deeper today.
I mean, always the thing about Scions, it's always relatively speaking. This kind of way. But I'll show where this is where we left the game off last time. We left it as just about to start of the second season of the 3 Seasons of War. We drew the cards, which are Decaying Incursion, Gang Chaos, and the Space Hulk, which we will get to, which I'll start briefing in the world immediately. I'm going to frame the scene as we start stuff. Yet again, we're on the surface of the Salandris' favourite place to eat. We're atop an enormous force field over it, containing an entire sun, as plasma is boiling beneath your feet, and you're having I would like to describe each of your persons around the table. Like, give me a visual. Let's start with Zephyr. What do we see?
As Saffron
Yeah,
starts
as in
today,
Zephyr around the table, what you're doing and what you're eating.
Saffron is starting the day on her ship.
Sorry, but I said you. I meant to say you're all on the actual. You're gathered around the table to have breakfast together to discuss your future plans.
Oh,
Sorry, I wasn't clear enough. So, like, you're met at Solandris' table on the plasma planet.
got it.
So you're meeting, having breakfast
got it.
together. Basically. Sorry,
Then Saffron's situation is just like last time. She has the best and the most of everything because she has stable ground under her feet, and her radiances offers to plunder, and she will.
Perfect. We'll go around the table. Jellycut round to Silent Kairos. What's Silent Kairos
again,
doing?
picking over his bread and water, his gaunt features, hawk-like features, taking in the scene, quite admiring the plasma flow, I think, below, with those eyes that are all dark. And his oiled ringlets have been recently re-oiled. But I think he might well be with his new compatriot, the Ultra Thief. Is standing at his shoulder.
Yes. Yeah, the visual the Ultra Thief who is wearing like void suit, black again. And they seem like weirdly giddy in this way to be here. As there's so much stuff that people have which looks really valuable. You're aware that the kind of that person could probably appraise the total cost of everything you're wearing. Around the table to Solandris. What's Solandris doing?
The space pirates from last session, are they edible?
Well, they certainly can be. Solandris eat stars. I think shark pirates are absolutely on the menu.
Wonderful. I think that shark fin soup will be good. Will be fine.
Excellent. At this point, the Demi Assembly. As I said, it's like we met last time. The kind of the droid, which is kind of giving you missions rather than the full assembly, which of course is the main voice for the Terran Lords. They're saying Solandris, the chefs are very, very difficult to serve, so they're very appreciative. Your agents. Congratulations, everybody is everyone. All the various bodies of the Empire are incredibly impressed. The Emperor may have fallen, but you have, of course, marched onwards nobly. Unfortunately, we have some other somewhat tricky issues to deal with, somewhat imminently.
The Emperor is eternal. I say, coldly staring at him.
Of course, allow me to briefly punish myself. And there's an awful shock of electricity bursts through him as he twitches awfully, steadying himself on the table. He says, "Thank you, Your Radiance. That was an appreciated correctment." A situation. Firstly, there's a small matter of another space hulk has entered space. And there's a little twitch, as you can see, the road trader who's actually brought himself along and is watching from some distance. I'm going to give he's got the name Arton. He's the slightly twitchy road trader that Solandris found, as well as getting the sharkfish. It will fall out of space again quite shortly, but there may be something else aboard. The road trader sort of snorts. Nothing. Luckily, we have a note of some trouble upon Necromunda. Necromunda, of course, is the largest, most populated planet in the entire Imperium. A kind of like a hive of scum and villainy, but a literal hive, the size of the planet, made of bees. In a metaphorical sense, it's made of many species, mostly modified humans. The place is ungovernable. Things must be made calm there. If not, it may entirely go out of control. And of course, worst of news, and he throws a head onto the table. This is from Cadia. Cadia is the Imperial military base for military offensives across the galaxy. There's been a rent open in time and space, and several beings that can only be described as demonic have emerged. There is, and one of the entire continents has been populated with amorphous, murderous, ectoplasmic. We've got some footage. It's quite disturbing. It's worth noting the Gang Chaos and the War on Cadia has some significant problems. There's if we lose Cadia, the Imperial don't press it. Sorry. Yeah.
Wanted to make it bigger.
Yes.
Just hovering. That's enough.
Yeah, hovering is fine. Basically, you basically just make the card. So that's how it operates.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a major. The Cadia one isn't a major twist. Yes, so the Imperial Army will be actually distinctly disadvantaged in this situation if they lose. Specifically, the Blade Guild sent word that they have several. They've said they're extremely infiltrated upon Necromunda, and if we lose Necromunda, there's a significant amount of agents, both actually in the field, but also in training. It's a major source of blades. And to go into mechanics for a second, that means basically 2 tokens will be put on either. If you fail the mission, or if you didn't do anything about the Cadian incursion, there'll be 2 tokens put upon the Imperial Army. And if you fail the Gang Chaos, you put 2 to how annoyed they are with you and everybody else. And that's the present situation. There's some missions. There is some communications from various bodies. Firstly, you may guess who this is from, and the robot places upon the table a noose, like a sort of a toxin. Is a message from the Mistress of Blades. It says, when dealing with the situation of Necromunda, we would appreciate the return, the capture of those responsible for the gang uprising alive. It is we have questions to ask them. To step that into actual mechanic, make the mission more difficult by adding a D8 dice to basically complete that submission. Yeah.
Kieron, can I just check?
That's also because of communication.
That request. Now, last time I think you told us the request came at 2 levels. There was a request that we could turn down. Yeah,
a
request.
I demand. That was very much a request.
So
next, there's unfortunately a more sternly put message from the Grand Marshal of the Imperial Army. And he gets out the scroll and reads it. It says, I probably can't use most of this language to you. Suffice to say, the Grand Marshal will be displeased if Cadia falls, and he would like a lot of your own blood if you don't do anything about it. So in that case, that's a demand. He needs some. If Cadia falls, there'll be an extra token on the Imperial Army, and also they will have Wrath. Wrath basically means I get a free dice to add to you. There's the rogue trader Artemon kind of butts in at this point and says, he may be a rude man, I remember him, but he's not wrong. I went through several beyond our imagining, or mainly beyond your imagining, because I've seen it, but it's certainly indescribable. I urge you to do something about this. And sort of sits down and immediately orders a much bigger drink from the robot because it's definitely way too much. And that's the briefing. People are going to have to talk about what they're thinking about.
Don't worry, friend. Cadia will not fall as long as the Iron Goat has anything to do with it.
I agree, Zephyrin. There is no question that this incursion must be sealed. The rebellion on Necromunda, there will be consequences, but not of the order of magnitude that the loss of Cadia would have.
I agree.
Salandras, do you agree?
I will lead the fleet and armies of the Emperor against these against the demonic threat.
Will you just?
I think there's a discreet silence from
Excellent.
Kairos on that statement.
Yeah.
Excellent. Is there any more kind of a plan? That would be
We live in a world where it's the
about
job titles you give yourself that matter.
Yeah. Yes, your radiance. Perfect. Is anything, any other plans that we'd like to make? As in, like, Necromunda is to step out the game, to go into mechanics for a second. Obviously, like, Cadia is the big mission, but like, there is definitely an argument what at least one of you want to do. This is entirely open.
Yeah.
Oh, the other mechanic thing is, of course, is it's hard if you want the max amount of glory. Everyone, going on the same mission is a way to, make sure one person only gets half the glory. Does that make sense? So there is an argument for splitting. Not that you should. I'm just kind of pitching early enough in the game for me to actually want to pitch. General thing about the game that's worth knowing is see the size of the mission, the D10 or the D8. That's normally the reward you get as well. So the harder the mission, the bigger the reward.
Yeah, I'm thinking since Salandras is so well equipped to lead the, I will deal with Necromunda then.
That seems perfect. That seems
My
a conversation.
My only query would be your brute strength at Cadia may be more useful than my cunning. This looks like something that requires a sledgehammer. Because what I'm imagining is that wheedling out some rebels alive might suit cunning rather than a technological or warlike response, with splitting relative to our talents.
You are indeed the wisest among us. Kairos.
I mean, because my experience with this game, just to step out for a moment, is that you need to think about how your particular expertise will map against the likely challenge.
Yeah. It's worth saying. I haven't told people what the challenge, the domain is, but you can. But
Yeah,
you're,
exactly.
You're right. The guessing is part of the
I'm just looking at gang chaos, criminal and hidden. Is where the dice are located, and that just strikes me as something that might suit some cunning rather than a sledgehammer.
Yeah, out of game.
Either a technological, yeah. Does that make sense? What do you think, Stephen? As Zephyrin says, you are eminently capable of dealing with Cadia, probably alone. But I think that probably Zephyrin's technological approach to this may be worthy.
Well, this may determine Zephyrin's choice one way or the other. We'll see. I do say that gang warfare does seem more appropriate to Zephyr's reach.
And if I may say so, your radiance, your connection to the Blade Guild puts you in a perfect position for this mission. You're suited like no other.
Are any of us connected?
I got a favor from them last time, but that's it.
Oh, right. Yes, you did. You did.
Okay, it's decided then.
This
I
sounds
will-
great. In which case,
Okay,
the way
yeah.
we go is we actually declare the mission. Oh, as you
Well, yeah,
sorry, I thought you actually finished
I'm
the
not sure where
Carry on.
we've ended up.
I gave a backhanded
Arcadia,
compliment to Zephyr, so I'm not. Wasn't sure if Zephyr decided, no, I fuck that, fuck going there. I'm gonna go follow Salandros and show them up.
Yeah. Well, we actually declare in order, so like,
Yeah.
I
I know, I
will declare
First,
Yeah.
I am of course going to Acadia.
Brilliant. Next picked is Silent Kairos. Where you go?
I'm going to Necromunda.
And Zephyr and I. Where are you going to?
Yeah, my reputation is rage and not pride, so I will go to Cadia.
Brilliant. I forget which person blew up Cadia last time they were there.
That was me.
Of course. You know, you got to do it. You got to do it twice. You get a taste for it.
Acadia, we're going to.
Both Cadia Eternal. They're kind of like we'll establish what's happened to Cadia when we do the scene. Because I think we're going to start with Gang Chaos. What I kind of would like is Necromunda. Like the visual you've got as we kind of come in, Silent Kairos' fleet is. I say it's termite. It's a city of termites. From a distance, it's got these almost organic forms, but it's grown by the random chance of building. And even from the distance, occasionally see explosions on the outside. Like someone's got a dirty nuke and it's gone off. This situation is bad. We'll hard cut to inside the actual the governor's palace. Doors sealed. The governor's of course been executed for this failure. And I'll basically play the replacement governor. And they're kind of she's blonde, very pale, twitchy, has got the aura of somebody with minor psionic abilities. Lord Kairos, thank you for coming.
I dare say you knew I was due to arrive. Brief me.
There are some mastermind appears to be at work. Like the gangs are there's a kind of a tension in the gangs. They've all gone off at once. It's like someone is trying to merge multiple gangs together, and other gangs have merged against that. We kind of believe if the leaders could be found and removed, this would be the situation would go back to our usual state of constant murder. But but the seasonal murder, if you will. And that's the problem. Where to find them, how to find them, if it's okay, if Stephen and Dominic are interested in playing side characters, I've got a couple of ideas.
Okay.
Sure.
Dominic, the cat I've got is basically the kind of main Silent Kairos is second. And since you've got a kind of bookish order, I've kind of would you think the most there's a phrase they say in Britain, it's rugby playing vicar. The idea of someone who's a man of the cloth, but also plays rugby. And that's the image I've got for this person. Like, it's Silent Kairos' bodyguard, you've got a big book, but you might hit the person with that book. So you're also kind of quite direct. And so efficient, you want this done as quickly as possible. And also maybe you came from Necromunda. And you kind of maybe view everyone else as a little bit beneath you. As in they're kind of like a little bit too unsubtle. Is that enough to go off?
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Feel free to invent names if you haven't got them. This is one of the things. There will be pick lists and stuff for this kind of stuff. So this is the developments of Paragon. Horus, your advisors are with you. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that we need to infiltrate the gangs, and I see two ways of coming at that. One is that Amnesium here, my muscular Christian.
Say no more, Lord Kyrus, he says as he takes away his bigger collar.
Now he's dangerous. The nature of Necromunda is its economy is terrible. But in an effort to keep the gangs fighting in a way, so they're not tempted to go elsewhere, there are a range of super kitchens provided by the state, and the faith runs those. So I wonder, Amnesium, whether you might work with the soup kitchens to collect any rumours of who has lit the touch paper on these terrible events.
It shall be done.
Because we don't mind the gangs killing one another. What we mind, because actually they're a good source for the military. But what we
It
mind,
allows us to carry out the culling of the deficient without intervention.
because the Blade Guild can recruit, and at the same time, sometimes the military recruits here. So it's, it is survival of the fittest to what passes for order. So yes, if you would infiltrate the soup kitchens and seek to discover whatever you can about the source of these this unpleasantness.
Certainly, sir.
And is it master or mistress?
Guild mistress, I think.
Guild mistress, you already have significant agents in the field. I would welcome a view from you as to where these troubles have originated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
This all sounds like a suitable setup. Sorry.
No, she nods. Or does she nod? Kind of think we said kind of space here, so I almost think that the lights on her void suit blink in affirmation. I think part of being a spacer void assassin involves eliminating all body language signs in order to avoid revealing tells. She nods. The gangs of Necromunda are a violent, bloodthirsty lot, as likely to turn on each other as they are more likely to turn on each other than to cooperate. There is a hand behind this.
And that
What we need, I was going to say, what we need is to return things to their rightful place. Get the leaders that they have suborned to turn on each other with promises of wealth and title.
strategy, a valid strategy. We need to identify them first. And my assumption is that organizing these gangs in a way that they are unused to requires some form of communication between those behind it and the gangs. And so I would like to set the Ultra Thief to seek to steal whatever data intercept.
Brilliant. I think we've got a rough enough plan with enough agents to play. I think we can go to start doing the dice. So, Lady Lorca, that's her name. We're gonna. The second question is the final question. Are you also going to choose to try to kidnap the leader, or are you going to, as in,
How
D8,
much more
one
difficult
more
is that?
D8, as in it's open information. So it's an extra D8. So it's more difficult.
I do
difficult.
like the idea of getting some benefit from the Blade Guild. So yes, we are going to try to capture at least one of these ringleaders.
Brilliant. Okay, right. You face a challenge of cunning. Who amongst the Scions will face it? Consider it carefully.
Well, I think I'm going to. Okay, so I think that first of all, obviously, we have the flashback. Oh no, I find it difficult to put the dice on the table without knowing whether the narrative works.
It's one of those. It is the weird thing about the system.
Okay.
Just tell me basically what resources you're using.
Okay.
In a flashback.
So
and then we'll work out the rest.
Silent Kairos. So name dice, reputation dice, because we are going to see him flashing back.
You don't need to justify. You don't need to justify. It's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah. The question is, Kieron, whether I will remember why I thought it was a good idea by the time we get to the end of this. So it is a cunning challenge, and I am going to call in the favor of the faith. That's why I'm able to insert Amnesius into the faith-driven soup kitchens.
Yes. That's cool. Any more dice? So you said you wanted to use the Ultra Thief? Cool. You put a token on the Ultra Thief now as well. Yeah. You could spend a pathos. Sorry. You could spend a pain if you wanted to add a second dice. If you wanted.
Oh yes, I could, couldn't I? Yes, I could. I will take another pain, and I will add in the technology of the Ultra Thief, because clearly the Ultra Thief is
Thank you.
technology.
And I've just realised I've completely messed up because
so I don't know how difficult it is.
No. Yeah.
Like,
you can actually rechange all your. If I roll really badly, you can rechange it. Like, it's one of those bits like you've already said you want to use the Ultra Thief. It's that in any way. The Ultra Thief is still part of the narrative, even if you don't use the quote unquote Ultra Thief. So the dice is a D8 for their name, D8 for criminal, D8 for hidden, and an extra D8. So it's a load of D8s. 1, 2, 3,
so
4 D8s. Yeah. Let's see what we got. 6 plus 4 because it's still the first. No, yeah, it's still the first year, so it's 6 plus. It's only 10. So it's quite a low roll.
Right. That sounds like quite a goer. I've just gone to the dice roller and I've got a blank page.
Unusual. Try the link again.
Oh no, there we are. I reloaded the job. Okay. So with that in mind, so it's a 10 I'm looking at. So yeah, I think I think that Silent Kairos and his flashback to have done all the research he can on the gangs of Necromunda en route is 2d6. He's using, so that's 3d6 because I'm also making use of the Ultra Thief and their technology. And then my cunning is a d8, and the favor of the faith grants me a d4.
That's all.
So let's see if I can construct that hand.
You should walk this. Like you'll be very unlucky not to get this one.
So I want a. I've all forgotten how to select. All I can see is a D4 in the middle of the table.
There's dice at the bottom of the screen. It should be.
I've got modifiers +1, +3, +5, advantage, and roll.
There's basically a bar at the bottom of the screen you should be able to see. I'm just trying to send a picture.
If I can share my screen, see what I can see.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I can't share. Maybe I've got to let you share.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, I can. There you go.
Ooh.
Can you see that?
Can. Oh wow, you're that way round. Yeah, I've got actually at the bottom of the screen, where beneath those.
Send tos, or
try pressing the right. See the X at the right. Try pressing that. That clear. See what happens. There we go. And now B's preview is actually see that bit at the bottom. That's what's missing. So try refreshing the whole page.
Okay.
It's in a really bad mood today. There we go.
Aha! There we go. I will stop sharing. There we go. Okay, so this is a D6, a D6, and a D6, a D8, a D10, and a D4.
It should annihilate.
Oh, that is that is somewhat over the top, isn't it? The best two, I think, are 7 and 5 is 12 plus my D4. So
13, which is definitely higher than 10.
Yeah.
So you get 10 glory. Like Knuckle Lord is the guy who is like a genetically modified beast. He's got he's just a huge guy, but he's a big guy, but his brain is even bigger. It's kind of leaking through his skull. And he's got fists the size of most people's torso, and he moves giant pieces over the map of Necromunda. This beautiful diorama they've made for him, and he's moving stuff. It's like this place will be ours. Honestly, we've suffered enough here. These Imperial scum will be gone. And he started to move his people into positions for an enormous attack, which is going to bring down a hive in an awful destruction. What the described size?
Okay,
please.
So
take him down and capture him.
So I think we see Silent Kairos in the operations room of the Fist of Faith, his ship, who is, hanging from the ceiling of this room. And at the point where I say execute, Amnesium and his other muscular Christians burst into the room along with a cohort of the Blade Guild, and the Knuckle Lord is subdued under
what? How dare this is, and then the neurotoxins hit his system, and he's dragged away. I think the shot across the city, all the gangs collapsing, going back to gravity. And the end of the scene is everybody's gathered in a chamber, along with Lady Lorca, who is basically serving food to everybody. And in the corner of the room, under the protection of the guild mistress, who is lower ranking than mistress of Blades, is the awful form of the Knuckle Lord, glaring in anger at everybody.
And I think that we'll be inserting some additional prompts into the gang arrangements now that we understand how they are. Is in her office now, and so she will be better able to manipulate things here.
That is good. Who did the mission with the Blade Guild last? It was
Solandris, I think.
Fantastic. Silent Horus, you complete the mission. You can tap the card to turn it over if you wish.
Ooh.
That's an asset. You are now you are essential commander of and crime lord of Necromunda. So that is now something you are abstractly in control of. You own it. You can,
wow.
It's a part of your figure narrative. So, is Lady Lorca going to be under your control, or do you want to leave one of your own people in here?
I think I shall leave Amnesium as my undergovernor.
Well,
brilliant. Governor of Necromunda.
What are your orders for the planet?
Oh, the order is to maintain, status quo ante. So we must return to the point where the Blade Guild can use it to sharpen its blades. The army can continue to use it as a recruiting ground on survival of the fittest, and the gangs will be more. They will be better managed now to ensure that we have the tools we need to ensure the dark age that we seek arrives.
The Blade Guild calls for a grand hunt of a grand hunt of a grand hunt of criminals in your honor. Would you like to participate?
Sorry.
I have bigger fish to fry, thank you, mistress. Do I leave the little red token on the Ultra Thief?
Yes, that means that the guild. Yeah. You can use them as part of the narrative, and there's ways of refreshing them as well. Also, they're useful to use as you just used it to justify, and they're useful NPC as well in the same way, so that they are around. At least to step outside. At least part of the game is building. At least one reason you tend to play other people as well is because the grip it. I kind of want people to think about the universe they're actually making before we destroy it. Is what the intent is anyway. But no, that's fantastic. I think the fight we get the Knuckle Lord being dragged off into a guild ship, which immediately disappears, and then we hard cut from this peacefulness.
Do I get some glory out of that?
I failed. You get 10 glory for the beating the thing. You also get one mission. You get a tick in the. You get a favour from the Blade Guild.
Yes, your name is carved into several bodies over the coming days in celebration of your governorship.
Hooray! Rejoice.
Rejoice, for blood has flowed.
Yeah, we kind of so we're close to the injuries to one of these people, the flesh wound, and we cross cut to sort of a continent, and it's this enormous mass of like tumorous flesh that is covering like a continent of Cadia. And we are with Solandris' and Zephron's fleet in orbit. We are kind of like, I think like the actual situation in Cadia is you sort of see that continent's lost, but the whole planet area is. The thing about Cadia, which are several space elevators have come crashing down over this continent, but it's also got entire trading facilities. It's one of the most militarized planets in the universe, and you can sort of see from this place the kind of the awful. I forgot the word for cancer spreading. Like the basics of watching cancer cells spreading from space as the edge of a continent-sized tumor and attacking the rest of Cadia. Whatever this is, it's a challenge of war. I think it's Solandris and Zephron in the actual discussion. So you're talking over. It's one of these like, do you want to have much of a scene before we go and just do the battle, or do you want to kind of like? Because this feels like you might want to just go in and start murdering people.
What do the remaining defenses of the planet look like? Like where are the where is the military of the planet putting up a resistance, and is it enough to ensure that Solandris will not have to execute them at the end of the battle?
They're trying. The thing about you get from the orbit, and this makes you realise why the Grand Marshal was so into Cadia can't fall. This is a training planet. Yes, they come from places like Necromunda, but and other places which are less warlike. But these people don't really know what they're doing yet. These are this is where the Imperial Army gets trained, orders. But on the inside, training is still carrying on. So they've got as many troops as they possibly can manning the walls. But as they get shipped away, the next group of trainees get sent up. It's like there's the realization that they can't stop training on Cadia because otherwise the rest of the Imperial offensives won't have people to send in. That's the kind of the thing that's going on. And also, there's not a big enough front for the army to send everybody on it either. The numbers are so ridiculous. They lack the precision and skill of the legions. Because it's actually worth noting as like challenges can of course be people led, but you can also definitely just if you do that instead or as well. Any more questions about the military situation?
No, Salandros will descend in their solar chariot. We haven't really discussed that. That is how we travel. It is a great. I just imagine like if a personal shuttle was a convertible, like once it comes into the atmosphere, it like floops up and Salandros can stare down at our domain.
That's perfect. A beautiful visual. What about you, Zephyr? How should you approach the war zone?
While Salandros is doing their thing, I will make contact with the army, with a planetary government, and I will organize things. We'll organize the planetary defense. I will make sure that whatever Salandros is doing doesn't lead to a catastrophe.
This is great. This sounds like we're heading towards the rice, so I'm going to set up the dice roll. A couple of things here. This is both risky and arduous. Arduous means that you have to spend a pain to enter the conflict. So if you like, and it's also risky, which means you have to lose a. Yeah. But I will sort out the dice roll, which will be D10, D6, D6, and there's no missions here. Well, there is a mission, obviously. D10.
Well, should we decide whether or not we're taking
D6?
the mission?
Let me. No, I roll first, and then you decide. So you actually get to back out if it's like,
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god, it rolled well. 15.
Mm-hmm.
Who will face this challenge of war? Think carefully, Scions.
Oh, there wasn't a side quest in this one. I thought there was.
There is a side quest. The side quest is win. Yeah, if you don't, basically the side quest is if you don't do this mission.
Okay.
So, in other words, you're getting, if you succeed, you also get favour from the Imperial Army. This one of it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it now.
So how does that work if Salandros answers the challenge because they have war? Can Saffron still?
Yes, basically the way it's the same as the first challenge we did in the game against the Emperor. Everyone rolls at once, and the person who I described the situation, whoever roll worst describes first, and then the person who describes sorry, I'm not describing this well. If you fail, you describe trying but it going wrong. If you succeed but don't get highest score, you describe it going well but setting up for the win. And if you roll highest, you describe defeating the
everybody makes their own choice of domain.
But like,
yeah. Oh no, it's war. Basically, you have to roll war, and if you want to, because it's a challenge of war. Yeah, if you want to add a second domain, you can spend a pain.
Okay, but I'm stumbling over this. Who answers it? Choose well bit. Like if we both get to answer it, what are we choosing?
You're choosing your own dice pools.
Your initial choice is: do you want to compete?
Yes, of course.
Yes, no. If yes,
and I'll note that
if yes, construct the dice pool. If no, move to next player.
Yes, that's basically it.
Okay, so this who will face the contest is just fluff then?
No, who will? As in, you to say no.
Yeah.
Will you?
Also, turn up.
Who you want to?
Yeah.
Not who will, but do you want to?
Yeah.
So
I rolled a 15, which means that even if we spend our favor with the Emperor, that we'd have to roll like an 11 or 12 on that, and then get a 3 or 4 on like a favor die.
Yeah, it's actually like it's kind of because it's your top 2 dice, and plus your favor. That's the way yours is. So what you actually, so if you had 2 d8s and you roll both 6s, actually, if you rolled 6s and then you got a 3 or a 4 in your favor dice, you'd hit 15. Am I right there? Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's top 2 of those dice. Okay.
Yeah. The chaos player is the top 1 dice, and they had a set number in this in the current year 4.
Okay, I get it now. All right, I misunderstood that. Okay, no, I will step up then. Yeah.
It's definitely like it's doable. It's a big number, but it's not crazy big. You'll see bigger numbers later. Like by the end game, you'll probably, if you try, be able to get a dice pool of 21. That's what a winner would end up looking like.
I was confused about the maths. I thought that it was just one. We just used our top die from the pool and then the favor. I get it.
No. It's a weird, it's a quirky system like that, and it's kind of takes a while to sort of grok it. I think that's a word I don't use anymore. Sorry. Okay. Back to Scions. Will you choose to accept? Will any of you choose to accept this challenge? Great. Salandros, do you want to describe your dice or the scene about you choosing what you're going to have?
Salandros will. We are radiant. We will lead from the front. Well, ish. But we will lead from the hunt behind our shield wall of fresh recruits. So I am marking radiant, my name, war, and then I will mark. Just trying to think of what the maths are like here. This is a big number. I will spend that Emperor bond for a D12. Oh, and I should be doing this as I go so I don't forget everything.
Yeah. It's why the reason why I've kind of the way the actual game is originally written has this. It kind of really expects people to do it on the fly. So what I've tried to do is I say, think carefully. So always everyone's to sit down and work out their dice pool before they start saying it. Just that kind of way to actually give people a chance to actually consider it. Is the intent anyway. But it's definitely build your dice pool as you're thinking about it is the way I would recommend that.
Yeah, I call in the Emperor's favor, and I think I also I'm going to spend a favors from the Blades Guilds and Terran Lords for 2d4.
Cool, that's a lot.
It's a big number, and I don't have big dice right now.
Yeah. Cool. And Zephyran, what's your...
So I am Zephyran Iron Eye, and I am enraged. My domain is not technology, but war. Sigh. I will call in a favor by my brother, Salandros. And I will also involve the Solar Navy, the Imperial Army, as well as the Terran Lords. For 46 plus 3d4.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, this sounds a lot. Like everyone, feel free to roll. Oops,
I just want to because you were good enough last time to warn me when I spent 2 favors.
Yeah. I was about to say 3 favors I've never seen anyone do, and I don't want to say not to do it.
So
I think you will regret this if you spend that number of favors.
I will note, Zephyrin, that the way the dice pool work is that because you're all only rolling your d6s, you'd have to roll like a 6 and a 5 on both of them to like have any shot with your of getting like the d4s.
Yeah, this is really a game for you fishing for 5 pluses. That's one of the kind of the standard things. So in other words, that's the easy way to think about the game is when you're looking for 5 pluses. So
if I would spend something else, you could spend pain to roll technology.
Yeah,
I've already rolled. It's all good. Don't worry. But I don't quite know what these numbers mean.
But I will translate what they mean. So the best 2 of the... Okay, do you want to roll Salandros as well?
Ooh,
Oh my god,
wow. The Emperor really is pissed off at you.
that's the worst roll I've ever
Understandably so.
seen.
Well,
Yeah,
good
I
that
know, it wasn't
somebody
good.
is fighting here.
Right, let me work out 4, 7,
Look,
8. Basically, your
this is
best,
typical for me is the thing.
Yeah.
I'd
It's
be
like there was-
disappointed myself if I rolled only 1-1.
It will be whatever this is going to be epic. Basically, your total, by the way, Zephron, is 9 of your top 2 dice plus a 3, which takes you to 12. So both of you suffer. So both of you had to take a pain to enter the challenge, and both of you have to spend another favor because you failed the roll.
Yep.
If you can't spend the favor, you have to spend the pain instead. Alternatively, you can burn a bomb not to. I would suggest burning pain when you have pain to spare.
Sure.
Cool. Basically, the way I'm going to describe the situation is, as you kind of move into battle, things are going to escalate quickly. As you realize the tumor is growing much quicker than anyone expected, but also there's an awful truth: it's drilling down. It's like it's heading towards the core of the planet, and and if they don't do something about the actual tumor first, things are going to get bad quite quickly. The person who rolled worse was Salandros. So do you want to pick up the narrative when you realize that the things are going south? What does Salandros do?
Yeah, I think that there is one thing is the realization, perhaps in the back of Salandros's mind, that because the ships that the Emperor sends us are not just the ships he's choosing not to send us, it's that it's all the Emperor can muster, and maybe the Emperor has fallen. Maybe the Emperor is far weaker than any in the Empire dare to admit. And I think that with that, oh boy, I think so. Like, I think we instead of trying to fight to clear the planet, we are falling back to the and I guess we're gonna redo a Zephyrin of this. We're falling back to the I imagine like some power station that taps into the planetary core or something, because we're gonna need to just blow this planet up and get out of here.
Cool.
We're not safe.
Definitely. The desperate is the rushings there. I think kind of like there's panic stressing across all the planet. There's a kind of sonic scream that's visible even to the sensitives on the other side of the galaxy. Things are getting bad. Zephron, how do you try to save the day, and how does it go wrong?
I do what I always do. I coordinate, I plan, and I execute, but it's just too much. With what we saw from orbit, I could have dealt, but learning that it grows deeper and learning that the reinforcements that Salandros has promised are not what I expected them to be, I do my best, but it's not enough.
It's true. The chaos happens. Eventually, both of you retreating in an orbit, and you get to see the death. Yes, the bombs go off, sterilizing most of the planet. It's still insufficient, as in the planet itself starts to crack open like an awful flesh wound. The entire planet falls apart. Its red core being consumed by the chaos stuff itself. The whole thing becomes like an awful dread flower in time and space, a kind of an embodiment of failure, and it floats there in the galaxy, pulsating. And I think we'll fade to black there and have our first break. Like back at 1:15. Is that good?
Sure.
Good fun. That was messy. Right. Okay. We got the image of the awful this planet-sized flower tumor that was once Cadia. There's a kind of message sort of delivered to you, Salandros and Zephran, and it's one of the most inventive series of swearing you might have imagined. Like, the Grand Marshal is a genius. He's a genius of battle and knows his way around. He has actually arranged the several dialects and languages to be the most offensive sentence possibly imagined. Suffice to say, they're not pleased. Okay, what happens here is you failed the mission, so the threat goes into play, which was strategic. So 2 things on the Imperial Army. But also there was a separate mission that was deliberate from them. So that's a 3rd point. And also they are suffering wrath, which I can go over, which is noted in the faction politics bit, where I wrote there is D10 wrath. Wrath is basically, and you get advantage dice like when you tap the Ultra Thief or Necromunda. Wrath dice is that, but for the Chaos player. So I get to spend a D10 dice on any challenge I like, which simulates the Imperial Navy being pissed off with you in some way. Not the Imperial Navy, the Imperial Army. Does that make sense?
Does that apply to all of us?
Yes, ironically, if they're pissed off with everybody.
Of course, we've just sent them into the flesh mill.
Yeah. In reality, the way I sort of
no, we didn't. You did.
Well, no, the fact
we all speak for the Emperor.
Yeah. The reality is when I actually do that one choice, let me get rid of the screen.
It was Kairos's choice to not come with us and support our army.
And everyone knows if I had been there, it would have been fine.
Yes. You are the wisest among us. And there have been rebellions on Necromunda before. There will be rebellions again. What was the point of you betraying us, brother?
Exactly.
Can we put a pin on this briefly? This is absolutely this is pre-mission because recriminations is one of the best parts of the game for me. Okay, just to sort of give you an idea what that actually means. At the beginning of every season from now on, we roll a dice, and if it's beneath the number of tokens on the army, they rebel. So in other words, if you roll a 1 or a 2, the Imperial Army stops being on your side and becomes a mission. The way you get rid of tokens is by doing missions for the Imperial Army.
Yeah, they're my buddies.
Yeah, so in other words, it's a very good time to suck up the Imperial Army. But unfortunately, you can't do that until it's slightly too late, because they're going to at least roll once. If Imperial Army rebels, suddenly it's very interesting. And that's the end of the turn. So I've described Cadia. Cadia is discarded since you didn't complete it, so no one flips it. And the Space Hulk also disappears into space. And we can go into the 3rd season. I would establish who is. I think Silent Kairos is actually now the best player. Kairos, since you get to hold the meetings, where do you hold your meetings?
By no means the best player, but by far the more favoured Scion.
Yes, of course. Sorry, that was rude again.
I think we find ourselves at an enormous cathedral-like space. It is dark and dusty. The walls are lined with scrolls and books, and the slow chant of librarians, and whispered conversation, which is quite difficult because the table is very large.
Brilliant. So no one's allowed to speak too loudly in this meeting.
And everyone is treated to bread and water.
How does Salandris and Zephyrans respond to what are their expressions like right now? Salandris?
I mean, partly also Salandris is. Well, I guess Salandris is sulking. Also because I Salandris is nursing that secret belief now that the emperor is like dying or fading in some regard, because why else would that die have turned up a 1?
So the Emperor's resources couldn't come through. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Right. And what about Zephyrin? What does Zephyrin look like?
Zephyrin is even more dour and retreated into herself than usual, burning with shame, and for once feeling that she deserves water and bread and nothing more.
That's great. As you're talking, the first news comes in from the army. Salandris, can you do the honors and roll the d6, please? And if it's a 1 or a 2, they rebel. So on the dice roll.
There we go. They're rebelling.
Oh!
See, this is why he asked me to roll it, because he knew I would roll a 1.
Also, I've never had a faction fully rebel before, so this is really exciting playtesting for me. And that kind of, especially for me, it's like, I realized giving a mission a demand from the Imperial Army was probably aggressive play by me. So that's what I've actually learned from there.
Can I offer a star right away for your ghoulish pleasure?
There's a joy here. Anyway, the Imperial Army is now in full revolt. We'll come back to that for a minute. Let's draw the other missions. Let me. You may notice you take anytime anything moves between regions, you take all the tokens off, and then other rules come into play. There is one rule here. Basically, when a faction enters the thing, they put 1 token on it for reasons because they are reactive. Reactive means if they've got a token on them, they do a different mission. It's the best way because there's ways of actually any faction can also be put in the deck and used as an encounter. So in other words, you contact the Imperial Army and then have to try to recruit them. But that's what we're having here. Okay, let's do the establishment. You're having breakfast and a kind of the robot comes in, getting particularly stale bread for everyone. I have very poor news. The Imperial Army is in full revolt. They think they actually need to control the Empire. The Grand Marshal is finding it genuinely appears to be using significant amounts of the Imperial Army's research and development budget on finding new swear words. They are across the entire galaxy raging. They're trying to basically control the fleet. So the threat there is they are attacking the entire fleet. So if the Imperial Army, if you don't do something about the Imperial Army, they will destroy the solar fleet. Okay, there's a message from deep space. There's something interesting happening out there. Which needs to be researched. The ecology of Psi think that is important to go and message. And the Theatricus Gala is going on this year. The Theatricus Gala is the planet of art and science, art and beauty, and it's a kind of psionic poetry contest, basically, in this enormous modern world. Of course, only psionic poets have ever entered, but of course, if anybody else entered it and was managed to win it, it would be a great honor for them. The signal will hang around. It's got no discard. Theatricus Gala happens this month. The Imperial Army is doing the Imperial Army. It's worth noting the Imperial Army is reactive. That means previously these are challenges, so 1 dice rolls. The Imperial Army fighting them is a struggle, and a struggle is a 3-part roll. As in, we do 1 rolls, and then there's a second roll to sort of decide whether you do threats or defense. You deal with the threat or try to seize the battle, and there's a final one that decides the current stage of the war. So it's 3 times as difficult and 3 times as hard to, but also 3 times as much glory is actually the other way of putting it. That's the news of the Imperial. If you want to ask more questions, the droid can help. He's serving up more dry bread for anyone who wishes it. So, Kairos, how do you start the meeting?
If, my brothers and sister, you could come to order. There seems to me to be no question that your failure on Cadia has increased the chance of a Dark Age arriving too early. It does seem to me, therefore, that we must do all we can to bring the army back under control. And if that means eliminating the Grand Master, if that means crushing the army, then so be it. I would hear your views. Zephyr?
I concur, Kairos. As always, you are the wisest among us. And you will have my fleet. However, the signal is calling to me. I think I am in my darkest hour, and I think this is the Emperor sending me on a vision quest. So while you have my troops and my fleet, I'm afraid I will not be with you.
That is disappointing, Zephran. I thought that the risk that the army presented the fleet would make you the obvious candidate.
Believe me, it's not an easy choice, but who am I to deny a signal by a father?
Solandris, what say you?
For once, I'm in agreement with Zephran. After the failure to provide support during our incursion into Cadia, I will be rallying our forces at what is the planet just called? Theatricus? You're muted.
Theatricus, yes.
Yes, at Theatricus.
I would admit.
Can I pause and actually give it a useful rule insert, actually, just to make sure everyone gets it? Basically, when you do a struggle, there's a middle stage that basically decides whether you want to stop the threat or try to make sure you have the victory. In other words, define what the victory is. You've got to do both to really completely win. So so basically, if it's one person doing it, they've got a choice of either stopping the threat, as in stopping the destruction of the Solar Navy, or making sure they can defeat or bring the army back into the Empire forever. So whereas if there's one person goes in, there's only one option that can actually, you can't get full victory. In other words, if you go in and stop the Solar Fleet being destroyed, it will probably mean the Imperial Army becomes what we call undefeated and moved here. And that means they will stay there, and at one point they'll come back in a rebellion again. Yeah? If you have... and if you go the other way around, and if you go the other way around and let the Solar Fleet be destroyed, you can then destroy or bring the army back. Because you have the choice of either bringing the army back in or destroying the army forever as well. So you can't do both. One person can't do both. So this is the one place where there's definitely a reason for multiple people to do it.
Because
however, it's still worth splitting. I'm not saying you have to do that in any way, because it's very much that players can prioritize what they need, but it changes the limitation of what's going to end up happening.
Yeah, I don't have much in the way of resources left anymore.
But think of the glory, Solandris. Think of the glory.
I'm going to throw something in. When factions get destroyed or rebel, you can't pick Imperial Army favors anymore. You can still use Imperial Army favors, because it's kind of like you've still got the memories, you've still got the equipment, you've still got some personnel who haven't rebelled. So you can still use Imperial Army as a fave, but you've got no more. If the Solar Fleet is destroyed, it's exactly the same thing. Also, I should mention, the Solar Fleet would have definitely put a mission. Like Admiral Raven, asks, you have to deal with this. In other words, you'll get a favor off the Imperial. If you do the mission and succeed, you get a favor from Raven. That's the other thing in the mix.
Oh, brother Solandris, I was hoping for once your thirst for glory would send you
I
in the right
suppose I
direction
can go.
to help Kairos. But
I can go and help Kairos.
Just before we make any decisions, though, just remind us, Kieron, what are the consequences of not accepting that challenge this season?
Theatricus, or the
the army. Yeah,
the Imperial Army will destroy the Solar Fleet.
Right. Okay.
And they will be removed. So if you don't do anything about it, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And if you do something about it, it may still happen anyway. If you roll poorly.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I suppose I'll go and support Kairos.
Cool.
Zephran, the risk to the Solar Fleet.
Yes, I hear you.
Is
I'm with you.
Significant.
It is, and I'm with you. May the Emperor be kind on my soul.
And I mean, just to step out of the game for a moment, I think this is the first time we've had the multi-stage challenge that is typically in the original game at the end of an island. So I think it would be interesting for everyone to see that in play, if nothing else. I think
actually it's a great way to end the military year. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we're ending our first year and having this big battle. One way or the other is going to be a useful climax. So it's definitely as players, there's other options which are interesting. But I think as learning the game, you might all want to go on this just to see how it plays out.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But you'll have other chances to go into struggles. Trust me.
Can't let my voice just die like that.
Yes. Okay. Let me sort of see the setting. Okay, this is a full galactic scale invasion. This is like all the garrisons are raising up. The Grand Marshal is a brilliant technician. If you want a vision of them, they're like somebody who looks like a turret. They look like they're a chess piece. You know what I mean? They're the rook. They're big, heavy, highly cybernetic. They've got a cigar, but it's not made out of tobacco or anything. No one really knows what this guy's smoking. He's got big shades, which are kind of built into his head. And he's like silent. This thing is like, he's really silent. It's like he's only angry in his messages. He's the world's most angry texter, I guess is the best way of putting it.
Most importantly, he's a traitor.
Yes. In fact, and that cut from Zephyran is the idea of him going, they've betrayed the Empire. We are the Empire. We call his actual mission is going out. They have betrayed the Empire. We are the Empire's fighting strength.
Without
and they've wasted
the fleet, us. You are just peons sitting on a planet.
And the message comes up, well, it's lucky then, dear Zephyran, that the fleet will soon be ours.
You do not call me dear.
Yeah.
Peon.
And he cuts up a community. Tell Sweet Chunks to go fuck himself. And he actually finally sworn aloud. Stops it. Right. And his plan
That's an exterminator's right on his head, motherfucker. Calling me dear.
God.
I think he is.
Right. So the war is basically it's across the whole military. The main thing is the Imperial Army are trying to either rebellions aboard the Solar Fleet, because the Solar Fleet also carries the flips around. There's people storming up the elevators. There's like there's artillery from the ground shooting up at the planet. So it's basically it's busy and it's all over the place, and it's very well organized. It's almost as if this Grand Marshal was always planning for it as an option. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he was loyal for now, but now he's decided to do this. Or maybe he was always planning to do this. Okay, the first stage we got is called. Sorry, let me just double check how I've renamed everything, because that's one of the things. It is called positioning. This is basically the before the battle energy. So basically, each of you describe what you're doing to get into position to deal with this. You can choose whatever domain you like for this. Also, you may notice that the Imperial Army has some pretty hairy abilities. Yeah, the Imperial Army just uses its D10 for this role. So the first stage positioning is just D10, or plus whatever else it could spend. So I'm going to make the dice roll. I'm going to spend the RAF, which I got. So it's actually rolling 2d10. The bonus of positioning is you gain, basically it's the least important contest. You gain a D10 advantage dice to be used at any stage in this struggle. Yeah. So in other words, it's a useful one to win, but it's not essential. It's kind of the warm up, but also gives you a chance to sort of fictionally position what you're doing to deal with this struggle. So I'm going to roll my dice and see what you got. Oof, 13. Okay, this is a really well put together plan. Who will face this? Who will face this struggle in whatever domain you choose? Think carefully.
Silent Kairos will face this challenge.
Brilliant. You've got to go on to say your dice, or ideally couched in the fiction.
I am book-wise, and I will also seek a favor of the Emperor, because I do not believe that he has been weakened. Rather, I think he has made a conscious choice, and so I will be cashing that in. Oh no, hang on. This is the original, isn't it? This is just a D10. So I'm looking to beat 13. No, I will still call on the Emperor. And I will, I'm planning to behead the serpent. So I might well call in a favor from the Blade Guild, I think.
Nice.
Can you just quickly explain the dice math to me? How do we get from 2 9s to 13?
It's the highest dice, +4. Basically, the way
where's the +4 coming from?
The way the Chaos player works is they have a roll the dice, get their best dice, and you add a set number. The set number in the first campaign year is 4. It's usually after this campaign year will be 5 until it becomes +6 when we hit the Civil War.
Got it. Thank you.
No, I'm not. I withdraw my D12. I am going with Silent Kairos, who is book-wise 2d6. and I will spend pain. This could be so. Cunning is D8, so this is about finding out where the
You don't need to
where the okay.
You don't need to define it yet. Basically, this whole search. Also, you get to choose your domain for this one, but also you can spend another pain and get another dice if you like.
Yeah.
And we
And I am going to spend pain.
And we only count the highest two from those ones. Okay.
Yeah. Broadly speaking, this is like the note I've made is I really want to have a kind of thing in the manual where I try to do the basic. What is a good dice pool? Because the game, as far as it's about trying to get, normally it's your best two dice, and it's normally if they're both 5+, that'll give you 10, and then a D4 on average will take you to 12. Do you know what I mean? So that is the way I would kind of think about it. So you need to kind of ideally get a 6 and a 5 and a 2 on a D4 is how I would get to 13.
And we still will gain a pain if we fail here, right?
No, actually, because that ability isn't actually in this. Basically, those two words.
I thought you always got a pain when you failed.
No, you only get a pain if it's dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, sorry, it's not my turn yet.
Cool. You haven't, Alan. You would so cunning.
So I am Silent Kairos, the Bookwise. My cunning will apply, and I've spent pain in order to also use technology,
right,
to work out where the headquarters is currently located.
Cool.
So I can behead the serpent.
Right.
Yeah.
Zephram, do you want to? Will you face this challenge?
I'm just wondering, seeing that I don't have any favors left, I don't have any chance to actually meet the challenge, right? Unless I want to spend the Emperor's favor and hope for the best.
You've got D8.
You do. There's no cost to failing this roll. So you could just roll your name die plus your best domain, and that would still give you a slight chance of getting 13.
I was just wondering if it might be smarter to support Kairos instead.
I mean, there's a possibility of that. I personally, I would call in a bond on a more critical, because all that's at stake here is someone's going to get an extra D10.
Yeah. If you offer to help Silent Kairos, what happens? Kairos gets your name dice, and you get a bond with Kairos you can spend later.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way. So it's not a huge bonus. In terms of resources you may have forgotten, you have the Princedom, which is a D8 you can add.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's like spending a D8 to get a chance at a D10.
Yeah. That's the kind of lead. Yeah, I'm just sort of. I would agree. I wouldn't make that choice either. But it's like I just want to make sure the assets are in.
Actually, I forgot that I can. I will also give Silent Kairos a name die because I need resources basically.
Cool. Both you. So the way
do I have to accept them?
You don't.
Or does that mean only I roll?
Only you roll, but you get 2 extra D6s.
Fine.
And both of you guys will get a bond with Kairos. The way this works narratively speaking is that I'll do the establishment. Well, Kairos will describe, and ideally both of you before Alan describes what happens, throw in how you're helping a little. Actually, or I don't think that actually quite works in this case because there's only one of you. Kairos, if you want to leave a beat to point the narration at Salandris or Zephram to give him a chance to say something cool, that would be useful.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck and rolling.
So yes, various agents are dispatched to discover where the Grand Master is.
I will carry them where they need to go.
Exactly so. Using the Navy. Salandris, in what way will the Terran Lords support this effort?
Oh. I think the Terran Lords have hosted a they've hosted like a meeting in which they've pretended to like offer their support to the army, but have just had like a bloodletting of the army military leadership.
So they're seeking to set up this beheading of the snake. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's 5d6 and a d8, and I am looking for 13.
Yep.
Okay, that is 12.
6s.
Close.
Ah, close,
Yeah.
but no cigar.
Is that definitely-
Should have put the Blade Guild in the field.
Yeah, that's that kind of the default is so important to the game. That's why the kind of say. That's why putting one in is normal. That's the kind of so valuable.
I know. I just didn't want to risk because it's the only one I got left. So
that's fine. Well, they have Wrath now, so I get a D10 to use at any point in this conflict. Let's describe the thing. Okay. I just described the what it's called. The Grand Marshal's plan.
Why do they have Wrath again?
Because but they won the conflict. So instead of you getting a D10, they get the D10.
They're pissed off.
I get it. That's just you saying they get the advantage. I see.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So Zephran, first Salandris, tell me what this would-be blood wedding looks like before it all goes pear-shaped. So what's the opening scene on that?
I think like the opening scene is like there are like a march of the military through the streets to the palaces of the Terran lords, where some of the high-ranking Terran officials and a bunch of totally not Necromunda thugs in fancy dress are to host.
And Zephran, can you tell me how your ships are able to infiltrate our strike force into this place?
Yeah. And you mean into the place where Salandris is?
Yes. Yeah, into this would be blood because you're carrying the strike force. So I want you to describe how the strike force gets in.
Oh yeah. So I think what we are using here are our top of the line infiltrator crafts that are very small, very stealthy, but also very untested. And we've just fall into a gravity well that we didn't see coming, and we would have seen them coming in more established crafts, but these ones are meant to be flown by sight, and things just no. And also, we are relying on data we got from the military, because we have millennia of experience of working close together, but we're working against the master strategists. So I probably would have noticed, but not all of my people noticed when that data is falsified and is not reliable anymore. And this is what we learned that day.
And so we see a variety of these craft being sucked into the sun, the local sun, and one of them plummets to earth, and we see it crash into the ground in the courtyard outside where this feast is being held. And as a handful of your Marines burst forth, expectedly, backed up by many of their fellows, they're annihilated.
Sad, really.
Yeah, and I think additionally, several of the Terran lords are actually taken hostage by the military to assure their cooperation.
Yeah, I think the vision is going well. Like the Terran lords are taken away, and you get the Grand Marshal washing out to the burning bodies of the troops who tried the mission, lighting one of his mysterious cigars on the remains, and going exactly as planned. We hard cut to the. Sorry,
I take pain for that failure, don't I?
You don't, because
it wasn't dangerous, or
those endless battalions of heavy machinery don't come in on this role.
Yeah.
So it's only the roles where they actually engage. Like, for example, the one that's about to happen.
Yeah, exactly. that was the easy one, guys.
Yeah, I quite like this Grand Marshal.
Good thing we saved our resources.
Yes. Okay, we're now in. I'll describe the situation across the universe. The Grand Marshal's plan is in full effect. People are storming up into the Solar Fleet, taking over ships, and the ships they can't take over, they explode. They're happily scuttling the entire galaxy. Space elevators are going to come crashing down. So all the troops are positioning in here, and at the same time, the ground troops are kind of preparing to hold steady, hold on to the rebellion. So they're both setting up a defensive line to hold that thing, and also take out the Solar Fleet. This stage is called Defend or Siege. You've got the choice of each of you have the choice to either defend or siege. If you defend, you roll against these are separate dice pools. So basically, you can stop the Solar Fleet from being destroyed.
Yes.
If you choose to defend, if you choose to seize, you decide what the stakes of the final battle are. As in, what's the best situation you can hope for. So that can be you could choose to, oh no, we want the army to be destroyed, or we want the army to be brought inside the empire again, safely and in whatever form you like. So that's what the siege lets you do. In terms of narrative, the siege is probably you starting to crash through their defenses, or make them less possible to hold on. And if in terms of the narrative, it's stopping in terms of the narrative of the defend, it's like stopping the army taking over the ships and scuttling them. So that's where we kind of are. So if you choose to seize or defend before you see the dice rolls, but once we've done the dice rolls, you don't have to actually face the challenge. I think it's a good time to have a little scene between all three of you on communicators to talk about which one you want to do, because it's quite high stakes.
Again, back in the dusty cathedral library, I regret that our initial plan failed, brother and sister. I wonder whether...
and this is just because Kairos felt the need to point out before, your initial plan failed, Kairos.
I accept some small responsibility. I wonder how we move forward from here. It seems to me we cannot afford to lose the fleet. And so at least one of us needs to thwart the Grand Master's plans to scuttle the fleet. Whether that takes one or two of us, I don't know, because one of us needs to get the army back. What say you, Solandros?
I will be able, from my flagship, to lead the fleet in a defense of the... I mean, I guess, but because you say to destroy, but it sounds like almost more they want to do almost a mutiny from the ships, take over the ships.
Yeah.
I just want to call the X-Guard a bit there, because remember, Solar Fleet is Zephran's faction, not yours. So you can't. It seems to be inappropriate for you to lead the fleet. Your faction is the Terran Lords.
I didn't mean like lead. I didn't mean like take over the fleet, like lead the fleet in this battle. But if Zephran wants to lead the fleet, I'm fine with that. That's just what Solandros says.
Zephran, are you prepared to have Solandros lead the fleet?
Oh, brother, my heart yearns for an exterminatus. I will, I will seize the fleet to Solandros. Solandros, you better live up to your moniker and be radiant tonight.
And then what will your part in this be, Zephran?
My part will be to fly one ship where it is needed and launch one bit of ordnance that beheads the snake.
So
in this role, okay, pause, carry on. No, ignore me. I'll jump in later with that.
So to be clear, then, Zephran, while we defer Solandros to defend the fleet, you and I will seek to take back the army.
Yes.
Agreed.
Agreed. They are the army. They are our charge. They are our allies. Who we need to get rid of is their leadership.
And yes, I agree. We mustn't let the common soldier think that we are the villains in this.
No. We are freeing them from the traitors they follow into the meat gristle.
Indeed, indeed. They have been infected by chaos, these leaders, undoubtedly.
Very obviously.
Brilliant. Everyone is, so 2 of you are seizing and 1 of you is defending.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to roll, which is, to let everyone know, the dice pool is D8. Oh. D8 and D6. D10, D8, D6. It's risky sort of words. If you don't win, you're going to lose a favour. And it's dangerous. And if you don't, in other words, you don't win, you're going to lose a pain as well. It's their endless battalions and heavy machinery. So all the might of the Imperial Army is coming into play right here. Let me give you a roll. Ooh. 10. An entirely reasonable roll for once. Who will face this challenge of, well, it feels like war to me.
Is this
Actually, stop
for defending or for fighting?
Defending, yeah. I was about to say, I'll pause for a second, actually. I actually think it's a challenge of tech, because it's a much more, it's not just war, it's a kind of like, it's a much more...
It's controlling the fleet.
It's controlling the fleet. It's also like stopping the fleet being taken over or being blown up as well. So it's much more like a technical exercise. Does that make sense? As in, it's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, the damage advances, do they happen immediately?
They do after you take them. Yep.
Okay,
so
but
you can,
like,
if you took one now to put an extra domain in, would you immediately get your level up?
I mean, can I take 2 and put 2 domains?
No, you can only put 1 domain in.
Oh, okay.
But I like the way you think. That's exactly how I play. When I play any of these games, it's like I'm going to murder myself to get as many advantages as I can. Then
I'll still, because at least that'll be something. Even if I fail here, I'll increase the domain.
Yeah. Okay, it's worth it. We've sort of been doing mechanical dice descriptions, but ideally you kind of describe it in a narrative, or you give a briefing.
The issue I'm running into frequently when we talk about that is that you say that, but then when I try to, you say, "Oh no, but we need to wait until the actual roll to see what happens."
It's more like you're justifying him too much. It's like kind of, I'll call upon the guild. That's all you need.
Okay.
You don't need, I'll call upon the guild to do anything.
Okay.
It's that kind of, you know what I mean? I get the psychic warriors ready. You know, that's the kind of thing what the game wants. So I'm trying to basically, this is one of the bits of the system I find really hard in Aegon and Deathmatch Island as well. So it's that kind of, I'm trying to find a way to make it work in a way which people find accessible. But it's kind of like, list your stuff you're using in a cool way. That's the what I'm trying to get across. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Actually, I'll say something else. But players enjoy doing it so much. So there's part of me just thinks, fuck it. Like the only problem with people doing it is they box themselves in. Because if I, for example, stop the narrative in a way that doesn't make sense to what you've just said, you can't do what you've just said. And that's, so you're at the same time, I wouldn't do that. But there's a kind of level of flexibility I think the game wants. The more flexible you have at the start, the better. But at the same time, doing a fucking really cool dramatic opening is really cool. You know what I mean? So,
just by the by, when I've run this, I've set the scene, and then I've invited them to narrate how the dice apply.
So even before they roll.
Yeah,
that's it. It's complete. That's like the game is weirdly aggressively anti that.
I know.
Yeah.
It just cognitively, it's a challenge.
Yeah. There's a version of me which thinks it's people that shouldn't even they should just select the stuff and roll, without even. But that's in some ways that's what I think the game wants. That's what they. Anyway, this is after the game.
I don't really see the problem with first describing the plan and then how it really shakes out.
Because there are 2 bits of that. This is what I will do to justify the dice. Then I roll it.
Yeah.
And then we narrate success, failure, whatever.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
It's fun. It's like they also don't want you to justify the dice. I think that's the real kind of truth of it.
I know, and that for me, that's a weakness of Paragon. You know, if you can't tie the dice into the narrative, anything goes.
It's what it's like. It is like the. I think it's one of those bits they expect you. For example, like if you look at the challenge, go, "This my book wiseness does not involve this challenge." They expect you to just not put the dice in, as a, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Anyway, this is a side.
Yeah. No, this is a debrief. Anyway,
yeah. Slandrus, what are you bringing to this challenge of technology?
I think that I am bringing my name, of course, and I think as much as this is why I suggested leading the fleet. I am the Radiant, and I am leading the fleet. I think besides technology, I think because it is technology, I have, and this is maybe the first time we've really seen it, that there are like these, what's like the word, ports running all along Solandris' backside. This is like, you know, whole, like they're shirtless, glowing, and they sit in their cyber throne, and we have like all these, we're directly interfacing with the ship. And that's me marking pain to get war. And ooh, I think I also, yes, fine, Kairos is wise. I will listen to one of Kairos's plans, I suppose.
Wisest among us.
Never has a clip from a movie seen eyes display gritted teeth.
So let's see, that's 46 plus 1d8. So I have no favor to spend. So let's hope for the best here.
Good luck. Yay! 2 5s. That's enough.
Yep, 2 5s.
You take 10 glory. Take 10 glory, and I'll give you a situation like all the careful all the docks, so they're called, all the airlocks, basically like locked and controlled, under control of the Imperial Army. They're moving in carefully. They've been aboard the ships. Like the crew are moving like SWAT teams through the corridors, or wiping out people they're not sure of. Across the entire galaxy, this is going on, and this plan, carefully constructed by one of the smartest men in the universe, goes into action. Then Slandrus's plan steps in. What happens?
Well, you know how I said that those this is terrible. It's probably the worst thing I've done so far. You know how I said all those tentacles are like for resource extraction? I think they latch on to the military ships and they just start sucking up people. And like they are all thrown into like these nutrient vats to be broken down into nutrient paste.
That's great. So it's like basically trap, you know, the military ships. Yeah, they kind of like you trap them,
and now I'm just like sucking them dry like cans of sardines. If the sardines were human beings.
Yeah, that's perfect. I definitely you can imagine like down in the base the Grand Master throws a cigar against the wall, which explodes into sparks. You know, he planned for every human eventuality, but he never thought about inhuman brutality.
And then like some cans of nutrient paste plop out at the end of like military grade rations.
Delicious. Like honestly, your shark soup is going to be amazing at the next season. You get a message from Admiral Raven as she holding her own kind of long cigarette in this way. Oh, Slandrus, your radiance. That was exquisite and also disgusting. You have our thanks. Message. She singles a message over to Zethran.
Yes. Let the Navy know, but they shall receive double rations after this battle.
message to Zaffron, and he goes, Zaffron, my girl, make them burn.
Understood.
Cool. We go to the next challenge. I'm going to select the dice pool because this is the C's bat thing. D10, D8. This is, since you kind of said you're basically trying to position yourself for this final assault, this is actually a battle of cunning. This is kind of like you want to position your bomb to be able to drop in the final bit. And they're trying to set up a defensive line. So this is basically your strategies and positioning versus their strategy and positioning. So that's how I see the challenge.
Good thing I have the smartest men in the universe at my side.
Nice. Right, what they got? Oh, they've rolled better this time. And I meant to include their advantage dice. Oh well. They still rolled 10. So 14 they've rolled. Who will face this challenge of cunning? Think well, Scions.
There is no question we're throwing now. All the cards are on the table.
Yes.
Are you with me, Zephyran?
Of course I am. I am past logical thinking here. I'm past regarding the dice and the odds.
14 isn't that bad.
For I am Zephyrin the Radiant, the Rageful.
Yeah.
So,
For Zephyrin, it might be bad, considering the resources we have left.
That's fine.
Yes, I am Silent Kairos and I am Bookwise, which always applies. So that's 2d6. I will be using my cunning approach, a d8. I will spend pain to also indulge. Is this the end state or is there one after this? I can never quite remember.
This is you deciding. This decides the final stakes, as in what's going to happen at the end of the battle.
Right.
So this allows you to go. This is where you decide whether you get total victory or like a half victory.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it's an important one, but not as important as the last one.
Exactly. There is a step after this. That's what I was remembering. Okay. Yeah. So we don't want to burn all our bridges. But certainly I will spend pain to also apply my d6 in war. So that makes it a 3d6, 1d8.
Actually, to throw in, actually, my genuine advice is the last one's the most important.
Yeah.
Like, this one is very important as well. But then if you lose the last one, it's all for nothing. If you win this one and lose the last one, it doesn't matter that you won this one.
Yeah.
Oh, there is one other advantage actually to winning the Seas, as well as choosing the possible victory condition, is you get to also choose which is a free domain you all get to add. So normally you have to spend a pain to add a domain. Yeah. You can choose, like the last one's going to be a battle of war, but you can choose which one gets added for free without spending pain.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think, let's see. So I've got to beat 14. That's a tall order from 3d6 and a d8. I think I'm going to trust to luck. 3d6 and a d8.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
What about you, Zephyran? What plans will you bring to bear?
I think I might just assist again, and keep my resources for the last one.
Okay. Or when you assist, you get 1 glory. That's the main. That's the main problem. That's the main reason not to do it.
Yeah, but I'm high on glory anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, poor Zephyran.
So that gives me your name dice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's 4d6.
You get the 1 glory even if the roll is a failure.
Yeah,
Or
but then
only
I also get
Good
pain.
question. I think you do actually.
Yeah,
So,
you do.
Both Slandrus and Zephyran, you both get 1 glory for that first encounter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
Okay, here we go.
Good luck.
6 and 6 is 12.
Oh,
Sweet.
close. Really close.
Oh, not sweet.
No,
Yeah,
14 to beat.
You needed
14 or better.
You needed the favour, really.
Why didn't you use your Blade Guild, man?
Because I was saving it for the last one.
There's a
For
problem.
the next final stage.
This was a risky battle.
It
So in other
was.
words, you lose that favour anyway.
Do I?
Yeah. Like
Why?
because a risky if you lose the score against
Oh
risky.
God!
Since you didn't know that rule, in other words, I would give you a D4 I would say if you want, add the D4 anyway, and roll down and see if you make it. I think that's does that seem fair to people? Because we're still learning the rules.
Sure.
That is
I did it.
2.
That's enough.
It is, because it's equal or better, isn't it?
It's a
Correct.
3.
That's very good of you, Kieron. Given I have played this game and run it, I should have checked what was on the card.
Yes, it's a brutal. Oh, this is aftermath sort of stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
you beat the score. Okay, I'm going to describe the actual practical situation. Basically, since the actual offensive has failed, they're moving back to a defensive position. And let's be honest, this is what the military is really good at. You guys are the elite troops. You go and conquer areas. These hold it. So they're setting up careful interlocked fortifications. They're taking anti-air guns, filling the air with certain passageways that their friendly ships can go. And it's almost like a come at me, bro. The guns of the galaxy pointing your direction. What plan does Silent Kairos use to get into position to take them down?
I think that this is about cunningly infiltrating their command and control.
Nice.
Perhaps using Zephran's
Stealth
you know,
ships, the last one.
The single silent secret ship.
Piloted by me personally.
You have the Ultra Thief as a friend too, remember? You know.
Oh, that's true, yes.
Yeah.
And so Zephran pilots the ship down invisibly to the surface, and the Ultra Thief then infiltrates the command and control center and adjusts those safe lanes. So at the point when we do assault it, using perhaps our elite troops are 2 legions, the Scrolls of the Fist and the Iron Goats. As soon as we appear, they open fire from the planet and destroy their own blockading ships.
That's great. The pathway's open for the final struggle. Okay. This is the so you also get to define what the victory condition. Are the victory condition bring them back in the Empire, or discard them, or something else?
Oh, bring them back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, convince them that their leadership has misled them and is in fact infected by chaos.
Great. Whoever wins the final roll gets to narrate what that looks like, I think, specifically, but that's what it is. So that's fantastic. Okay, it's all then. This across all these the galaxies, because the plan's changed in the center. In that way, actually stop, let me restart. Everyone knows basically, specifically, if you take out these very core leaders, the Grand Marshal and the core staff, it's gone, and you've got your way in. The Ultra Thief found your way in. I imagine her sort of messaging saying, honestly, I've stolen many things. I've stolen a star. I at least tried to. I've never stolen an entire Imperial army before. It's very, very fun. Thank you, sir.
I'm just wondering whether we want to just take a quick 5-minute break here and then play through.
I was going to say, this is one roll. I think we could do this then the 5-minute break was my thing. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Especially if we go, because we're now close to the final battle, and it's like, let me just roll the dice and see what happens.
Just to put it out there today, I absolutely cannot go over.
Yeah, it's okay. It's 5:30 is the end, but I'm going to end it closer to 5 anyway. Because we have guests basically, and it's also crazily hot. Right, I'm spending the advantage on dice which he earned in the first conflict. So that's 2 d10s, a d8, and a d6, and the total is. No, they roll poorly.
Ooh.
9.
Ooh.
Nice.
Wow.
9. Who will face this challenge of war? Oh, by the way, Kairos, you didn't say what free domain you picked.
Oh, sorry. It's going to be cunning, obviously.
Yeah, cool. So people can have,
that's what the world is like.
Cool. People can have cunning for free, but they, if they want to add a different one, they can spend the pain.
So hang on. No, let me just think about that for a second. No, the free one is unnatural.
Okay. Who will face this challenge of war? Think carefully, Scions.
Just quickly, so I understand. This free unnatural is just for Kairos or for everybody?
Everybody.
Okay,
and what was the thing about pain? We can pay 1 pain to change our individual free one?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's in effect it's an extra d6 for everyone.
Yeah. Sweet.
Or, unless you really want your own d8, then you can spend a pain and get it. Is the way it basically works. This is something I've entirely lifted from Deathmatch Island, because
and so sorry, but just so I understand. So if I pay a pain, I can change the free one to technology, and whenever the challenge is not technology, I can change it to technology for free. Is that how it works?
No, you
Only in-
always get the free one, but then you can get one on top of that, I think.
No.
Oh no.
No. You can basically in a normal challenge, you spend a pain and you get an extra dice of your choice. You can choose an extra domain. In this one you don't have to spend the pain as long as you take on natural. If you want to take something except for a natural, you can spend the pain.
Oh, okay. So that was what you meant with pain. It's just normal rules.
Yeah.
Unless
So,
we
yeah,
take
it's an either or.
You can't domain up and have loads of domains basically.
And did we say that? And is this finally a challenge of war?
This is full on a challenge of war.
Fine.
Annihilate them. 9 is very beatable.
So, time for the long overdue exterminators. I'm in.
Brilliant.
My ship's already in orbit.
I will take part as well.
Cool. Everyone describe their dice pools quickly.
I am silent Kairos. I am bookwise, and so I will have researched. I will apply a cunning plan to this, and will take a natural as my free top-up dice. Oh no, it's a war. Sorry, I will spend a pain to use cunning.
Cool.
And I will call on the Emperor and Solandros by spending a bond with each.
You really want to win this. Oh, by the way, did you take the 14 glory last time, by the way, Kairos?
Oh, no, I didn't. Thank you. 3041. Oh, no, I thought it was 40. It's 80, not 40.
Yeah. Cool. Fantastic. What about you, Zephyran?
I am Zephyran Iron-Eye, and I am enraged. I also, and I think, so I can just, again, sorry, I can switch from war to a natural for free, or
No,
I can take...
You always have war because it's a challenge of war.
Okay.
You're having a natural. You can automatically have a natural for free.
Sweet. I will do that. Because I also still have the what is their name? The princeling, the princem, in my back pocket. Who? Oh no, I shan't explain. But I will employ them. Doing something unnatural, and I will be guided by all this by my brother Horus.
Right. I was going to throw in, Chorus, if you don't want to burn the Emperor, you do have Necromunda. I just want to say that as a kind of the Emperor's a big gun.
Oh, that's true. Oh, thank you again for that reminder. I keep forgetting to check what I've got as an asset.
Yeah.
That's a D8. Yes. I tell you what, because this is the last of this stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then I will deploy the blade. Oh no, I spent that last time. Sorry, I'm getting confused now. So just ignore me. I will indeed spend Necromunda. We will parachute in some bad guys.
Cool. I put the token on for you. And what about Solandros? Will you face this challenge of war?
Yes, I'll face this challenge of war. I'll mark a pain, which is my first damage, to also use technology. My ship, for the first time, like a blazing shooting star, enters the atmosphere of a world on camera, and begins to consume it.
Brilliant. Okay, just so before we start going to the narration bit, obviously you immediately get that free. You've got your D8 dice to D8. You've also got what we call, so you draw the line. This advancement you get for free is called a scar. So you also basically are physically or mentally changed from this in a way. So when you actually do your narration, have it in, either doing the wound or kind of having your new cybernetic or whatever you like. This is completely a good time to do it, or you can save it to later. But yeah, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Let's describe the plan. Honestly, like the second you found the Karis's plan, found a way for the actual the defenses, the Grand Marshal knew they were in trouble. They've saved a few special swear words in the actual bunker and unleashed them for this occasion. They get out one final big cigar and it says, "We fight till we die, men. The same as the Imperial Army ever does. Let's see how many of these fuckers we take with us." And they just start shooting, and they're going to make you grind. They put as much meat between you and them as possible. Please, Who will face this? I've done this. Oh no! Everyone roll.
Yeah, right.
So that's 6 and 8. That is 14. 14.
40. Okay. What it looks is Salandris got Salandris has got 11. Zephron has 14. And player 6, who is
Kairos.
for logical enough, got 13. So in other words, everyone succeeded. Slandros narrates first, Zephron narrates second, and Kairos finishes it. Yes? No, I've got the wrong way around. Zephron narrates last, and Kairos narrates second to last. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I should have actually done the narration here. Roles. Anyway, that's the situation. Meet in the corridors. Desperate generals are trying to escape. Not the Grand Marshal though. He's in the middle of the bunker. A big blaster out, ready for you. Come at me, bros. Please, Slandros, describe the first stage of the attack.
I think, as we said, our capital ship just like eats through the defenses. Like, it latches on to plating, to bunkers, to weaponry, and just turns it all through its automated devouring algorithms, sorting things out into its proper piles. And I think that as it eats through the defenses, I think it also eats through Salandros. I think that I have these metallic devouring worms running into my flesh, replacing muscle with sinuous, mechanical serpents.
I love that. Yeah. Brilliant. So this is kind of the horror is going on in the base. There's definitely the defenses are crumbling. They're still shooting though. How does Kairos widen the breach?
Yeah. Now I just need to be clear. I've marked agony. Should I have skipped agony and gone straight to damage?
No. The way I do it, you click agony, and that's the last one of the run. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I've checked it because.
Right.
I thought agony was a separate thing. Okay.
Yeah, I find it quite confusing because I would have put the agony as a separate line on it, but I've always you hit agony and then any more is damage.
Fine, just checking. So yes, so the remains
wasn't the best anyway. So,
so you can have those tentacles anyway. So I think we've established it now. We found a channel to get through. The arrival of Slandros's forces destroys what's left of orbital kind of defenses. The various gangs that I've rounded up from Necromunda are dropped to the surface, largely to cause chaos rather than necessarily to win. Because we've been working hard to keep their numbers up, and through that, the Fist of Faith are able to breach the final bunker, but have exhausted themselves before they can reach the Grandmaster. Yeah. The war librarians blasting out there, silent death chants, but everything's open. The battle hangs in the balance. The strength of one army against the other. Where does Zephron's forces collide?
We have a little flashback to a few weeks in the past. Zephron is standing in front of the observation window in her room, and it's just grinding her teeth and going, "If I get that curve between my fingers." And from behind, we hear the voice of the princeling, the princem, and he's like, "Do not worry about that, pet. I've got you." And flashback back to now. Saffron, leading her bronze goats. No, that's not what they're called. The iron goats is marching towards the citadel. As I hard cut, we see the turret man behind all his like screens where he's doing things, and behind him, the Princem just appears, puts something on his shoulder, disappears, and from within the turret man, a chaos demon sprouts and unfolds itself, revealing his who he has been the entire time to the universe, leaving, of course, now all the combined troops of the Empire to battle this chaos demon, which is a long and arduous and a very bloody battle, but in the end, we win.
Magnificent. Everyone's bonded together. Just so the Princem was secretly a demon. Is that right? Is that what you're saying? Or
no, I just imagine it's just some sort of gadget that reveals the military guy to be a demon.
I misunderstood that. I love that. Sorry. Much better. Chaos within. Everyone obviously, great. So we don't even need to execute him. Yeah. I imagine like the final battle, everyone is cheering there. Imperial Guard soldiers are embracing the legions, and the legions are probably not doing anything back because they're far too serious. And it's Joyce, and it's kind of cheering goes up from the planet. They chant the name of the Scions. They chant them loudly. Specifically, above all, they chant the name of Zephyr and I, who saved the Imperium from itself. That's great. Everyone gets Salandris and Horus gets 5 glory. Zephyr gets 9. And
just a detail, because I spent a favor with of Kairos. Of course, Kairos was involved in that plan all along, and was able to prepare like the arcane ammunition to strike down the demon.
Great. I love it. And we'll have a quick break here till 1:30 maybe, and then we'll come back and do like the last half hour. Right, cool. Hello, chums. Welcome back. As I said, it's like I'm going to take it. What happens next is the season of rest, which is I would normally try to make it luxuriate a bit more than this, but I'm going to try to keep it to a tight half hour. This is basically when you get to do cool scenes between you, do politics, and like also with your other people. So there's like I would normally need more space for calling scenes, but I reckon this is going to lean tighter, and I'll try to finish it. Aim to finish around 5. I'm going to do quick styles and wishes, then out. Basically, if that's the plan. Any questions before I continue? Fantastic.
No, I did have a question. Dom, have you added your glory in for winning?
No, because I don't know how much I get.
You get 9. Everyone else gets 5.
Okay. Oh, so I get as much glory as you rolled.
Yes, exactly. And if you beat it but don't come first, you get half. And I round up because it just seems more fun. You know what I mean? It's a game about getting big numbers. That's some high level game design just right there. I'm a deep thinker, me.
Have you seen that game Million HP Planet?
No, but it's instantly hilarious. God.
So you play a bunch of overpowered heroes fighting an evil planet. And it has 1,000,000 HP. That's basically what you need to know.
Brilliant. I mean, we've destroyed multiple planets already in this game, though. It's just anyway. Okay, it's the season of rest, and I think the image you're going to get, everyone goes back to Terra to recover, and there's parades of the new reformed Imperial army marching through, like happy to get the chaos monster out their midst. Zephyr, of course, you brought it back into the Imperium. How has the army been reworked slightly? Like, what small changes did you kind of give to them?
I think I will make them more serious, fewer parades.
This is the last parade.
I don't need a parade. And also I will strengthen the like mutual control and coordination with the Navy, so that they really work hand in glove and
That's
also
beautiful.
check one another.
That's great. I was like, worth noting, you we'll get to that bit in a minute, but you've got a bonus for winning that challenge. Also, you all complete the mission to do the Solar Navy. You all saved the Solar Navy by being involved in this. So everybody gets one favor with the Solar Navy. I imagine Raven has sent sent a beautiful new frigate to you each for your own personal fleet, with thanks, and possibly a box of cigarillos, knowing Raven in that way, which is great. Okay, first, the season of rest has a few stages. First stage is reputation. Everyone just thinks about their name. Oh no, wrong stage. Reputation. Each thinks about what is the biggest achievement you've done in the year. What's the heroic thing you most achieved? So I like to pause for a few seconds. Everyone thinks. For example, in the last game, like in a previous game, someone actually completely seduced the prince and they end up being lovers. And that was they become alien lover was their reputation, and it becomes a reputation dice which you can then spend as you wish. So have a quick think about what your biggest achievement. To be honest, it's probably something in the military war, but like maybe think something else. And when you make your decision, just raise your hand and we'll jump on you. Okay. What is Silent Kyros's reputation, do you think?
I think that his reputation for being cunning has probably been boosted. And it is seen to be an act of genius to have on the one looked ahead to the war with the army, to have taken control of Necromunda, and to have been able to deploy its gangs in a useful way for the first time in Imperial history.
Yeah. Like the Master of Necromunda would be a good way to put it. That, and that'll be D8 reputation, which you write. It's at the. Where in the sheet it's I believe it's like beneath domains somewhere. So I've changed my windows between. Oh, it's over here. So much it bounced over to the other monitor. Yes, it's beneath. So it's deeds and trophies, which I'm going to rename to reputations because this is me hacking an Aegon sheet. And I missed that one. So, Zephyran, what about you? What's your what do you think your big reputation is?
Oh, there. Okay. So I think, I mean, the obvious pick is to uncover the Demon Lord, but I think where the reputation really comes to bear is that Saffron is able to maybe not mass produce, but to replicate that gadget that the prince made. It's like alien tech, so it's not mass produced, but we can use it now to reveal demonic influence. So that will be an unnatural boost.
No, it's not like that. Sorry, I apologize. Okay. It's basically the section called reputation. It's just a one sentence name, and it's it'll be like Demon Finder, and I'd probably say D10. So that's why I didn't say Necromunda. Put D8 after it. So in the section, these are basically one-off boosts you get to spend. So in other words, it's like a title. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
So in reputations, just write something like Demon Finder. Or like
yeah. In that case, I thought I had to like pick a domain and justify that. No, in that case, I will just go with what Saffron has always been doing. That is building bridges, the bridge builder.
Okay, that works. Yeah. It's definitely it's looking for like a thing you've done. It's what bridge builder works completely, but that kind of like
making the connection between the Navy and the Army. Between
that's good.
Always combining the branches.
Yeah. It's definitely the way I like to think about it, and like. It's like just stuff they would list after you. Welcome, Zephyran I, a master of the whatever, bridge builder. Yeah. So if it sounds like that, you're sorted. What about you, Slandrus? What was your big achievement?
I feel like I did this a lot, so I'm going to go with Pirate Eater.
That's delightful. I love it. And I've just realised I can't call them reputations. I'm going to call them legends. I've already got a section called reputations. Watching a game get designed on the fly. Yeah, because the next section is reflection, where you think about your actual reputation, your name dice, or by your name dice. Does your name dice still apply? Are you still the Radiant? Are you still Bookwise? If not, we can change it. Yes, Kairos?
Always Bookwise.
Yes. boys rage. Is Zephran's right? Is the
Am I stuck to the ones in the drop down? Or
no,
can
absolutely not. You can make a very much. You can choose an own. As long as we okay the word, it's good.
Having trouble coming up with a one word for it thing for it, but I would like to go more in the reputation that I built in the last season of not being a murderous hothead, but of trying to like connect people, of trying to find the outer reaches. Maybe Wayfinder, like my ship. Yeah, why not? That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking like calm would work, diplomatic. Those are kind of useful words. But yeah. Any of those things are good.
Yeah.
Right. Now we fond bonds of love and hate. Each
I'll
scion
change
you
my
get.
reputation to ravening.
Oh, nice.
Less glow, more teeth.
Beautiful. Next is forging bonds of love and hate. Each scion gets to frame a scene with another scion and engage in it. You take a bond with each other. If you want, alternatively, you can frame a scene with an asset to remove a token from it. In reality, and I provide a theme for the scenes to kind of give you some inspiration. Like in the first season, it's about admiration, as in you find a scene about you finding ways to be happy with each other. It's what you admire about each other. Because in later seasons become increasingly jealousy and stuff like that. But to start with, this is what a frame scenes around why you admire the other player. Anyone want to go first?
Or an asset.
Or an asset.
I would like to have a scene with the Ultra Thief. I don't know if anyone wants to play the Ultra Thief.
Anyone wants to do them?
Sure.
And I suppose the question that I need to work out is how do
Ultra Thief was she, her.
Yeah, she, her.
Oh, sorry, she, her.
Yeah. Ultra Thief, by the way, the key words for Ultra Thief is they're weirdly peppy. They're very interested. They're kind of delighted. It's kind of like I've got away with this. I stole a star. That's the kind of energy I'm trying to give her. And she's very excited to be part of this thing because it's what's imperialism but the biggest theft of ever.
And my question to you is you were very helpful to me over recent seasons. I would like to be able to deploy you again.
Sure.
What would
Make it interesting.
What would encourage you to respond again to my call?
An impossible challenge. As long as it's fun, as long as nobody's done it before, I'm in.
Very good. So can I remove the token from? Thank you.
I was like, can we have them having some fun together? Because it's it's kind of like
okay,
like,
fair enough.
In the narrative, she's already doing stuff with you. It's like this is getting the bonus. So it's kind of I want to see you guys. What do you guys do for fun?
I'm fascinated. I mean, I'd like to pass that to you, Dom. What does she try to get Kairos to do?
I think I think the symbiotic relationship the two of them have is the irresistible force in the unmovable object that you try to create fiendishly complex and impossible riddles, mazes, and all kinds of things where you spend inordinate amounts of imperial money to commandeer planets and cities, and she just delights in beating you again and again and again.
Real life chess, the ultimate X-Man training room.
She never rubs it in because she knows she's better than you, and you never let off. You always come back with one more challenge.
Thank you. I like that.
That's perfect. Slandrus, do you want to frame a scene?
Yes, I think that I am gifting Kairos. I have the holy relics looted from 100 stars to do with as he pleases. I'm wondering, like, because I think some of these might be Imperial holy objects, but a lot of them might be the holy objects of a lot of other, you know, unimportant faiths, the faiths that aren't real, that you know, those little planet-siders worship.
And Kairos is very touched by this offering and would like to actually give you the public credit by having this handover filmed and transmitted across the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
A sign of amity between us.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I am wondering, though, what you do with those relics.
Well, I sort them into two kinds. One, the immediately useful, and two, the potentially chaotic that I can later use against you because you gave me a chaotic item.
Okay.
So I think there are two vaults. There is one where he puts all the kind of potentially useful stuff, and then there's a special vault labeled in case Solandrus gets uppity. And there's a lot. Anything that I could possibly suggest is linked to some lost and forgotten religion that you gave me. So you had it all this time. That's what Kairos is doing.
Brilliant.
Well, you know, you have to collect the sun god cult symbols when you're the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one man's son is another man's chaotic beast.
Yeah. How is Solandrus? I'm interested. How is Solandrus feeling? Is this kind of like the way the war went quite different? I mean, like you were quite angry with Kairos, like because there was definitely tension between the Scions midway through, but then in the end, you all came together and triumphed. Like, how is Solandrus feeling?
I think part of it is that as much as I have a tension with Kairos in that I know he has more, like he is more exalted right now than me, Solandros seems to just have this like weird obsessive rivalry with Sephirin right now still. Like I somehow still think that like even though like I'm mildly happy that Zephyrin is still beneath me, which is why I can exalt Kairos as much as I do. Sorry, Zephyrin. That's just I'm just thinking through Solandrus's like thought right now.
This is exactly the kind of people these people are. Fantastic. Zephyrin, do you want to frame a scene? Because it's really quite interesting to think. Because the other two are abstractly the most glorious like siblings you have, but you've led the army home. You know, it's that kind of you have weirdly material power, whilst they are having this kind of like reputation as the greater heroes. Do you want to frame a scene with either Kairos or Solandrus? Oh, by the way, Solandrus and Kairos both take a bond with each other. I meant to say.
I want to play on that contentious relationship that Saffron and Solandrus have, in that Solandrus has, shit the bed a little bit in the campaign, and Saffron is not gloating. Saffron is inviting Solandrus to a trip out in the outer ranges, just so that Solandrus can touch some cosmic grass in a situation where it's just the two of us, no legions to feed on, nobody you need to pose in front of, just a girl and a radiant exploring the far ranges of space. What you say?
Of course.
And I imagine us, doing things like really being in a spaceship for weeks on end, so that eventually we have to, just talk, just be real. And I wonder how Solandrus deals with that. Like with not having to be the most radiant thing around, because there's nobody around other than Saffron who doesn't give a shit.
I mean, one can be radiant even if there's only one
Like
person around.
what do you do after 2 months, like cooped up in a spaceship, just you and
It's
me?
like 2 months.
Yeah.
I don't know if
If it's a
Salandra
bomb
is
that-
agreeing to 2 months when.
Well,
Right. Maybe it's 2 months on a planet with a very small solar year.
I am the wayfinder, but even I sometimes take longer than I thought I would. I apologize.
Uh-huh. Oh boy, what does Salandris do there? I think that Salandros eventually looks to you and says, our failures in this last campaign were mutual. If the Empire is to persevere, we cannot allow, we will never be siblings in spirit. But this campaign requires that we be siblings in blood and conquer and destroy the Emperor's foes to preserve
As we did when we decided to throw our forces together. 14?
mhm.
Also your turn.
Oh, what was that?
I said also your turn as I move a go piece or chess piece.
Well, of course, on your ship, it's just called Goat.
Sure.
See, Goat is just like chess, but it's like 4-dimensional.
I'll give you that.
I move my Goat piece into a 3-dimensional check, which opens you to a 4-dimensional checkmate.
Does it mean that you won or you lost?
Well, a check is just like I'm threatening your king.
Yeah.
Whereas checkmate means that like you can move your piece to like end the game and win.
You know what? I'll give you the party. I'm not here to win against you. I'm here to get to know you. So another party, and then I'm asking. So what do you do all day? You can't just be flaying people day and night, can you? Is there more behind that shining armor than just garish cruelty?
You and Kairos believe that a true age of darkness can be brought about without the realities of violence. I seek to bring about a great democracy of suffering. All will be able to enjoy suffering for the Emperor.
Will they
Not
have a choice not to suffer?
merely us scions.
Will they have a choice not to suffer?
Well, and I move another go piece. That sounds like heresy, Zephyrin.
Well, if they all have to suffer, that doesn't sound like a democracy, Salandros.
I think I look at you quizzically. Democracy. I don't even know the meaning of that word.
You just used it. I think that describes you well enough.
I said, did I say democracy? Did I say it?
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
A democracy of suffering.
Yeah.
Actually, I wrote down because that's the name of the episode.
Oh,
now,
right. No, sorry. I forgot. I did say it. I did not say a democracy of should those who do not I'll change it then. I'll retcon. Should those who do not suffer truly have a say in the world that is to come?
I don't think there's anybody who isn't suffering. Life is always suffering.
Exactly.
And looking at the clock, I will say maybe that's where we close the scene.
I was say, I was going to cut it by there.
Yeah.
But I do I've got the image of Solandra. I'm certainly suffering trapped on this ship with you in this kind of level. Yeah. That's beautiful. Leave those two panning away with the interesting tension and the question of, do they truly believe in the Dark Age floating there? Next section is faction politics. It's where, as you've been noticing across the year, you've been completing missions. I'm just going to show the map in the current place. As you see, the Fiakas Gala went off without you guys being there. The Imperial Army has moved back in. And there's various missions to be completed. If you actually look over in the faction politics tag, you'll see that I've been tracking how many missions each of you have completed. Like, everyone completed a mission for the Solar Navy. 2 of you completed missions for the Blade Guild. And the fact that Zephyran brought the Imperial Army in automatically gives them 2. So in other words, yes, getting someone to leave the Empire, then bringing back in is very much the winning the missions. If you've got 1, you get 1 advance. You get 1. I forgot the name. I haven't written it there, but it's I'm going to call it prestige for now. But there's a name for it. Basically, if you hit 3 prestige in a faction, you get an advance.
Mm-hmm.
And the missions are, if you get 1 mission completed in the year, you get 1 advance. So it goes like that. If you get more than 1, you get 2. I put them in the wrong row. So in other words, no one gets an advance this time. But if Zephyran gets 1 mission next time in the Imperial Army, they'll get an advance.
Nice.
And if you get more than 1 mission, you can get it. You get no more than 3 in a thing. So once you've got the advance from a faction, you've got to get another faction. Does that make sense?
So, and that's completed, win or lose? Just took part in?
No, complete. It's whatever the mission was. So, for example, if you didn't save the Solar Navy, none of you would have got it.
Okay.
But like there was, basically, if you complete the mission, yes. If not, no. Sometimes the mission is just go on that mission. They don't really care about win or lose. So it depends on the nature of the thing. So that's great. Everyone already took the advance. So everyone took the favour in the Solar Navy. Now we're into reinforcement. Everyone takes 2 favours in any factions you wish. So you have 2 free ones. If you want to know the basic economy, you get 2 free ones every season, plus whatever you get for completing missions.
I've taken mine in the Faith and the Collegia Psi.
Great.
I, of course, have to replenish my favors with the Navy.
Cool.
And the Army.
Cool. Don't you already have 2 in the... Don't you already have 1 in the Navy?
I had 1, now I have 2, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, ignore me. I thought you were putting them both in there. Ignore me. And you, Solandris?
I'll take 1 with the Terran Lords and another with the Blade Guild.
Brilliant. Finally, the last thing you do in the year is the House of Healing, which is basically everyone, all pain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So basically, every year you get 5 pain to burn, and possibly your agony. I'm going to recheck how actually the thing, because it's very strange that the agony isn't in damage.
Mm-hmm.
Worth noting, by the way.
Should I leave agony marked now for then?
I would leave it marked for now until I actually double check it. So between now and this session, I'll recheck because there's something weird about it which bugs me. And along this area, I'm probably doing small I'll probably do smaller faction politics scene here if I was doing it properly. This is the place you can luxuriate. As it is, we want to wrap. So the season ends. Like Solandris and Zephyrin get back from their mission. Silent Kairos is finished filing away, and you get a kind of a small audience with the Emperor. And the Emperor is like an enormous iron lung. It's like an iron lung, which is like a battle suit. It's like a battle. It's an iron lung that could go to war. It's got cannons down the side. It's got flamethrowers. Yes, Zephyrin?
Do we get a bond with one another for the mission, Solandris and I?
Yes. Sorry, you get one for that scene. And I'll do have the reminder that bonds don't have to be positive. They are actually also rage and jealousy and anything you can use to fuel your success.
I feel we've grown closer as brothers or siblings.
Yes. And the Emperor, but they're still, even there, they've got the radiant glow reminding of Solandris. You've got the dark eyes, like the void staring out of the ship in the same way Kairos does. And just the sheer bulk, of, in fact, arguably, the Emperor looks more like Zephyrin than ever. The fact he's he's plugged into this enormous waddling iron lung, and he speaks, but his voice is still powerful in this way. This has been a great year for you. It's been difficult, but you've achieved wonderful things, and I believe in you. This is the start for the Empire, and soon you will. The Dark Age will begin. Every action you take is a step towards the great Dark Age to save us from the greater Dark Age. Hail the Scions! Hail the Scions Eternal! And just as the after credit sequence, like there's something in deep space, there's things moving out there and things that don't like the Empire. And then we cut to black and all goes to well. Thank you so much for playing. Good work, everyone. Right.